Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to day number 2 of Maincast Winter Brawl. We are back with more action here. Some heads have to be lobbed off today. I'm Killer Pigeon. Liz is joining me. He's ready to see who is going to have a tear in their eyes they don't get a late Christmas present, as this is where eliminations begin, Liz. Team Dendy versus Moo Online.
Moo Online. Modus Unity. It's definitely... Yeah, it definitely resembles Moo Online. That good old game that we talked about yesterday. I hope they'll have a bit of a better game today. We'll see though. Versus MR, versus Dandy, versus LeBron and the boys. By the way, did you even attempt? Can you attempt at reading their banner?
Sure, let me just
Give
go
it
ahead.
a shot. Come on, give it a shot.
Нет, не hebrew typia nobo nimpemia emi sesimobria
Emu. That was the closest thing.
in timpapim.
Okay, stop it.
Hey, there's a word in here that looks like Mo. I was getting to the good part, alright?
Stop it.
Sorry, not all of us
tried.
speak Krylic. Alright?
Speak! You read it, you pleb.
Yeah, but you
Cyrillic.
translate it for yourself. So technically it's half speak, half read.
Yeah, but there are different languages that use Cyrillic. You can't just... you can't speak Cyrillic.
Well, mine doesn't. I'm blissfully ignorant.
Enough of us and our knowledge of the Eastern lands. Before chat starts flaming us, let's talk about the bans, the picks, the game of Dota 2, the marvelous game that we're about to witness. We have MR with LeBron and some 4 plebs such as Dandy playing. And we have Modus Unity with fake DK Phobos. TSA, he made it through.
Yep. Didn't get stopped by customs again. Look at that. You know it's bad when you have to steal my content.
Yeah. Chikiriao as well. That's how you read their captain's name.
Oh, okay.
In any case, Modus Unity, they picked up a Doom and the Lich. Doom has been picked up many times yesterday as well. The hero is just crazy good. I love it. Lich isn't picked up as often recently, but you know, you're a Lich. You're a Lich. You go to a lane, you eat some creeps. Actually, you can't eat some creeps.
Yeah, you know, you're thinking the past there, Liz. You're meant to go to a lane, put some shields on people, but Doom
you
can
know
do
what?
that now.
Like, I know, I understand that the Lich is completely different, but you know, when you want to talk about Lich, you want to talk this way. You go to a lane, you eat some creeps, you know, like that's your job.
So you're building Midas on your Liches?
No. You build. I don't know where am I going with this. I don't know. In any case,
you're living in the past.
Yeah, I'm living in the past. I need to get back to this era when Lich buys 9 mangoes, comes to a lane, and just spams nukes at you. Because that's literally what Liches do right now.
Exactly, you get it. You know, like if you keep living in the past like this, you'll get back into a conversation about being number 1 Meepo in the world. And, then we'll go around in circles. Oh, sorry, was it number 2 Meepo?
Number 1.
Yeah, I said number 1, and you were like, what?
I held the number 1 spot for more than a year, and I'm proud of that achievement.
Are you proud of the fact that Meepo can't be played by anyone successfully so far in competitive Dota? I don't think we've seen a single Meepo game.
I played it yesterday and I won.
That wasn't a competitive game between
it's competitive for my teammates anytime I'm playing.
Because they're playing against you as well?
Yeah, it's very difficult. But yeah, MR, Mr. Dandy, he picked up Shadow Fiend and Winter Wyvern for himself. Also heroes that are really, really decent in the current state of the game. Shadow Fiend, I actually like it because yesterday, what did we see from Dandy? We saw some Magnus and it truly didn't work out for them. It was very lackluster. And maybe with this Shadow Fiend, he'll have more luck. Shadow Fiend has been buffed up and is a decent opener. Winter Wyvern, also just a hero that's pretty good right now. And then they round it up with a little bit of control, a little bit of utility from Centaur. Now you can think about something like a Drow as well for MR.
Yes.
I think that Drow would be pretty good.
I was going to say, Centaur seems to be the go-to pick when you see a Doom picked by the opponent, right? Because it means that the Doom has to use his ultimate on you, but then your other cores can still fight, or he uses it on like a Shadow Fiend and you just press R and everyone retreats.
Yeah. You just stampede and he runs away. So basically, whenever you have a Doom versus a Centaur, you need an additional form of control, something that you can't just Doom a target and Infernal Blade it and continue chasing it. You need to control it. You need some stuns. You need some serious lockdown. Lich is all right with his gaze. Like it's okay, but you need something extra. You need some more.
Yeah, MR weren't taking any chances though. They did ban out the Grimstroke, which would have worked for Modus. I always feel awkward when I see the Doom Grimstroke combo because it usually feels forced, right?
Yeah, but you have Lich as well, and it would be Doom Lich Grimstroke. And don't get me wrong, like I feel the same about that combo because I've seen it lose so many times. People pick Doom Lich and Grimstroke, and then suddenly their lanes are bad, and they maybe do that combo properly once or twice, but it isn't worth it sometimes. However, in this particular game, I think it would be difficult to deal with. Grimstroke is also good versus Centaur and his Stampede, so I think it's all right. Now they pick up an Invoker. I mean, it could be your position 4, right? But most likely will be the mid, as they do see the Shadow Fiend picked up already. We've had some strange supports yesterday, like Viper, remember?
Yeah, that was from Fly to Moon, I believe, who are waiting to see who wins here, as they'll be playing next against the winner of this match, or this series, rather.
So whatever heroes the winner here is picking, he won't get to pick them in the next game because that's pretty much how the meta of this tournament has been shaped. You play one game and then you wait for your next opponent, and the opponent just bans out everything you played.
Yeah, it
That's
definitely caused a huge upset for OGC yesterday when I think
Yeah,
4 of their
OGC
heroes
got
got banned.
wrecked. By the way, chat, OGC got dismantled yesterday. They were pretty wrecked by Namiga, right? Namiga destroyed them.
Yes, which I think it would be fair to say that most people, if you look at this group stage, OG Seed are on paper the most logical choice. These are like throw down, if you're gonna throw down your money behind any team, it's probably gonna be OG.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I agree. OG Seed, um, when you think what their captains, I mean, what their coaches are, you would put your money on them. But
We get to see experience
yeah,
here, you know?
yeah,
MR.
yeah.
There's plenty of skill and plenty of years of experience between Dendy, LeBron, Ghostic's been around for a while. King R has been lingering in the CIS region for.
I think in this MR team, like all respect to every and each one of them, I think Ghostic and Kingar are the standout players for me overall. Even though in their last match they truly weren't. Ghostic with his Brewmaster had absolutely zero success. Like he wasn't doing a lot. They shut him down with the tri lane, and then he was just useless for the rest of the game. I'm not saying that he's useless as a player usually. It's just in that particular match. And Ghostic is very talented, and so is Kingar. Kingar, he had some success with some of his teams, but nothing really too significant. Maybe he can find luck with Dandy and the boys. Um, there will be a Rubik in this match. I guess it will be played by Kingar, and then Winter Wyvern will be taken by LeBron. That will be your position 5. Oh, Terrorblade. All right. That's interesting. It's not a hero that we've seen at all in this tournament, right?
I don't think we've had a single game, and his success rate has been on the lower side in general since the patch dropped. I think he must be sitting at like 30 or 40% win rate on the competitive side of things. It just feels like a hero you thought would be great with the changes they made with the introduction of all these jungle items, but he still has this issue of not necessarily being online in time and also a lot of downtime in the late game with Metamorphosis.
Yeah, I agree. And if you mess up your meta, suddenly, if you mess it up and use it too early, before the 10-minute mark, suddenly you can't fight the outposts, you can't help your teammates. Also, in this particular match, let's just see their last pick. Okay, Venge. So they're gonna buff him up a lot. Doom perhaps gets a wolf, Vengeful Spirit with its passive. You definitely can create this mega carry of a Terrorblade. What worries me is the fact that they have a lot of nukes. They have a lot of ways of getting on top of him, and you're playing versus a Wyvern. Winter Wyvern usually is one of the supports that's good versus TP. You can use your Winter's Curse and turn his illusions on him or any of his teammates. You have Splinter Blast as well to constantly nuke him. And I would actually rather put Wyvern plus Centaur versus him on the lane as well and buy a bunch of mangoes on Winter Wyvern and just spam him because TB has a lot of armor but no HP. And this is a perfect pick for them. I love this. Slark Yesterday we saw one Slark and it was terrible. It was played versus a Bloodseeker. Like, do you remember that? It was
Yeah, that they picked it. That was the final pick. Actually, it was the 10th pick of the game after an 8th pick, Bloodseeker, or 7th. No, sorry, yeah, 8th. But this works really well, right? Because the essence shift is in essence pure damage, and is mitigating Terrorblade's damage output at the same time.
I love how you always say that essence shift
Is in
essence.
I actually couldn't help. Like
Yeah.
I didn't even try for that. It just in my mind is where I go, because you know, for a long time we kind of play these games and we don't really see these things until people point out to us that you're just getting direct HP removal, right, with the stats factor. So you are doing pure damage with essence shift.
Yeah, it's also a hero that is considered to be really good versus Terrorblade, as you can get on top of him. As he's about to swap HP, you can go in your Shadow Dance or something similar, you know. So overall, I like this matchup for Slark. Um, in the laning stage, if he's played versus, we'll see what his laning stage is going to be like. But I don't think it should be as difficult as that Slark's game yesterday when he was playing versus Bloodseeker.
No, this should be much more of a free slot game. Of course, there is the issue that the Doom is there, and that's going to be the variable they have to play around, because as we mentioned, you've got this Centaur, you've got this Shadow Fiend, you've got this Slark. They're all high priority targets for Doom. And then on top of that, you've got Wyvern and Rubik, which are very good defensive supports.
And also Doom, when you're playing versus Slark on the lane, he's just gonna hit you and take your stats, right? And it's not an easy lane for Doom. We will see Doom and Vengeful on the offlane, however. So perhaps the two of them can be strong enough to deal with the Slark.
You know, any minus armor you can dish out, we can do in return, sort of situation.
We will see 3 heroes from both sides clashing down bottom, it seems.
Doom is deceptive because people haven't really gotten used still to seeing Scorched Earth level 1. He does have a lot of kill potential with 2 supports behind him. As usually it was always Devour. Oh.
Insta D-board.
Oof. They knew what was up.
And good luck afterwards.
You gotta wait. It's like, okay, do we feel like giving them luck? Yeah, they'll need it now. They already lost some vision.
Just a BM good luck instantly after. Sometimes you just, especially when you're playing in such a small tournament, you watch the replays from your enemies and you see where they planted wards, and then you just risk it with the sentry early on.
Yeah, it's double or nothing.
It paid off. Yeah, it paid off this time.
Statistically decent gambling that can happen there. And Keisani is going to try and sneak this rune away from them. However, the damage will stack up, and he hasn't got reinforcements here. It will break the trees. He might go down. I think he is going to lose.
Nah, they're slow. Unless DK Fogus manages to block him, which he won't.
No, he can get across. Pretty close, though. Luckily, he has the salve, so he'll heal up. I don't think he got the rune, though. No.
He didn't, but they brought a lot of region, and it's 3 of them standing here still. So you have LeBron, Kingar. Oh, all right, Kingar will rotate up.
Yeah, he's like, well, it's the Rubik Centaur combo. You don't want to keep them apart.
Rubik Centaur has been really good forever, but recently it's been nerfed a bit because of the changes to telekinesis. It's not as strong as before, as it doesn't last long enough for you to set up that stun.
And this combo is pretty good against the Terrorblade on lane, right? Because you reduce his damage, and then he can't trade with the Centaur because he's not dishing out enough per hit and also giving retaliate stack. So even in Metamorphosis, it doesn't get you much value.
I think Lich plus Terrorblade are scary, and because of that, the Rubik has opted to go and creep skip, take 1 creep wave, connect it to his in between tier 1 and tier 2. This pretty much denies Terrorblade the ability to get a lot of experience. Rubik most likely will be denying a lot of creeps here, unless he messes it up. So it's good. The start is good for them. What's happening on the mid lane, by the way?
The mid lane is fairly even so far. It's slightly for Young G, but once you get level 2 in Shadow Fiend, you can start to catch up, get those souls stacked up with the raises.
Sometimes you start with raises, right? But when you're playing versus Invoker, you can go for Necromastery, because Invoker is just as weak, level 1, so you can get a couple of last hits.
Yeah, and Dendi, I think he's got 2 ranged denies so far, so he's keeping pressure onto Young G.
Yeah, he's out-leveling him if you look at that quite well. He has 1 wave advantage, but almost a full level ahead.
He's already forced the salve out as well. And this is kind of the awkward part, right? When you're the Quaswex Invoker, this is the type of hero that can punish you quickly because you're meant to be exploiting the weak start that Shadow Fiend usually has at level 1-2.
I'm basically at the moment just watching a Doom and what creep he finds.
Oh, we going shopping. Oh, he's got he's got the ice
shopping.
armor. You get the frost mage.
Sadly it's ice armor, and if he goes deeper into the jungle, he can't find anything better too. So he just takes the frost armor and goes back to the bottom lane.
I don't think, yeah, there's not a single wolf anywhere actually.
It's Doom is actually so RNG. Like when you start the game, he's good. He's not RNG in a way that if you don't find a good creep, you're gonna lose. But he's RNG in a way that if you find a wolf early on, you just dominate. The lane becomes so much easier for you. Frost armor is also pretty neat, but wolf is, I don't know. This early on, the amount of damage that you gain from it is ridiculous.
There's a few other plays. I think there's still value in the Harpy if you're like a support Doom, right? And you rotate mid, just harass the mid out. That's still fairly good.
Yeah, this is a support Doom. This is a position for Doom, but still, I think Wolf is it's just what you want. I think the new Ghost is also pretty good.
Yeah,
because you basically get a free Scuddy.
It was what, extra 5%? I think it went up to 25% now, which was
Top
scorched
lane.
earth. Could allow you to run down pretty effectively.
Top lane, everyone was super low, but no one really died.
Yeah, they will limp away. Everyone's got a salve. They say cheers. They just get backed up again. And that's the other metamorphs just used now. Already down to half duration. That's when they might try and make a play, as they have got level 3 on Rubik and Centaur at this point.
Yep, and mid lane Dandy finally is pulling a little bit away from Young G. 18 CS versus 13.
I think a lot of these are range denies. Yeah. It's up to 10 denies so far. I think 4, possibly 5 of those now are range denies. And while I talk about that, top lane, they finally do it. Kiki came a little bit far forward there. Pays the price. Him on the bot lane. A little bit of aggression coming out as TSA is chasing on the LeBron, but this is not an easy lane for Doom to get kills in.
Yeah, there's just brawls everywhere. It's not easy for Doom and Venge to kill. Also, it's not easy for Slark and Wyvern to kill them, as there's that frost armor, right? So a very, very defensive creep that they've gotten.
Yeah, in that regard, most they should actually be harder to kill because they have a lot more protection on the outer lanes. The frost shield on one and the ice mage one on the other. But there is a lot of kill potential for the side of MR, as we saw in the top lane. Rubik plus Centaur, you can't underestimate it. And as soon as they get 6, they could easily just try and make a play because TBs, they try and avoid taking their ultimate at 6, right?
Definitely. You really don't want to take it. You take it only if you have to. There are some players that get it even on 6 no matter what, but it's definitely not optimal. If you know that you won't use it, if you know that you're going to the jungle, it's optimal not to level it up.
Well, the Ruby now on the back foot took a lot of damage in the trade with Lich there.
There's a lot of trades happening everywhere, on every single lane.
Makes you wonder who's going to be able to leverage mid sooner. You'd expect Young G to be the one to rotate first, considering he is a Quaswex build. But he's a decent margin behind the Shadow Fiend.
He caught up a little bit when it comes to CS at least. 22 versus 27, so 5 CS behind. But experience definitely is the problem for him. And he's always on the edge of dying versus the CS side. Luckily for him, it's Quaswex, so every time he takes punishment, he can go back and regen quickly.
Like King R setting up a deep ward, so they'll know when Invokers rotate out of the lane. Or when TB decides to abandon the lane. Because usually you do see that critical point, right? Around between level 3 and 5, where TB wants to farm jungle quicker. Young G. Let's get the tornado out, so he'll be able to move away. Not an easy kill to achieve. Not when you're a Rubik with a level 1 telekinesis anyway.
It's just not enough damage, and he had Tornado pre-invoked, so he just tosses that Tornado and moves away. I'm really interested in fake Phobos, DK Fogas, and what item build he'll go for, as he's the core Vengeful on this bottom lane. And this core Vengeful is going ham right now. They're trying to be aggressive on Slark.
They're running out of time, right? Because as soon as Kaysani hits 6, they can't really aggress him on lane anymore. They couldn't even before it because LeBron just shoot. 1 point Cold Embrace is enough to always heal Slark up and make it an effective trade.
Top lane, picking R.
Oh, the fear. Drags him back in. The stomp is under 2, but I'm not sure they have the damage to bring down TB. Ghostic's going to try. Sides a little bit too fast.
Now.
He can get Kahid.
Pretty much, yeah.
Actually, TB's killing himself. Yeah, he was just killing himself by returning the right clicks here.
Stop hitting yourself, TB. Oh.
And one more tap. There it is.
Easy
Double kill for
Ghostic.
Ghostic. And he'll go to his grave as well.
That's the Ghostic I expected. Like, that's the Ghostic I expected yesterday, but I didn't get. I got some Brewmaster that was level 1 10 minutes in.
You got some fake Ghostic. That's what happened.
I got some. It was some fake Ghostic, I'm telling you right now. This is more like it. Double kill for the Centaur, and this game is already looking rough for Modus Unity.
Yeah, it was awkward from the Terrorblade as well. Like, he had a moment to just walk away. Throwing out 1 or 2 extra hits from the Centaur achieved nothing there. And
Yeah, he was just dying. He was just killing himself. That's completely true.
but good by Ghostic to quickly identify that he moves faster than TB.
Lich, mid lane.
That's the hard kill. Then he's going to be the one who picks up the kills. Lich, that was his rotation. They try and connect. And now the Stampede to get them away. And Young G will be interrupted as he did have the DD. They use the Stampede to ensure that Dendy doesn't have a rough lane this time around.
And bottom lane LeBron is in problems, perhaps.
Well, he's tanking a lot here. TB, just TP away. Oh, okay, that was 10 HP.
If you had a Wolf there, however, you would crit him once and he'd be dead.
I mean, you don't even need to crit him. You just have the 30% damage aura, right?
Exactly.
Especially when you consider that DK Focus is going for the max out on the aura.
Yeah, I think they will be really strong comes mid game as long as they don't start feeding right now. They can't afford to die any longer with TB. He's already rotated to the jungle, which means that Ghostic will take the tier 1 super easily, I believe. And then continue pressuring them deeper inside of their jungle.
Yeah, Lich is one of those easily punished supports if she tries, or he tries rather to sit on the lane and sap. I was going to say she, because you compare the other side, right? As if this safe lane for MR failed, then Wyvern can just sit there. Kicked from the game, kicked from the lane.
Kicked from Modus Unity.
It's sad life for Lich, though. It's the comparison, right? Like, if you had a Wyvern, you could just sit there and you shouldn't ever be catchable. But what do you do as a Lich? You die.
Yeah, you're not catchable as a Lich, but you are killable.
Yo, this man.
Actually, you're both. You're killable and catchable.
What's this mango tree? I'm gonna back away now as there's a rotation in case I will get out. But I'm pretty sure they spotted that. That's a new one, Liz. I don't think we've seen that mango tree placement before. On the lane.
I see. I mean, maybe they just wanted to plant it there and get some mangoes.
Yeah, maybe they're just being greedy. They're like, nah, it's not worth the effort to walk away from the lane and set it up somewhere. But think, Liz, if he put it in a tree, like a tree line somewhere, he could have found himself a wolf with it.
Huh. What, are wolves attracted by mangoes? I don't know what wolves are you talking about.
I mean, I haven't ran enough tests yet,
Then
but
the
maybe
bottom
the
lane
crit wolves.
He's invis. He's hunting.
They don't have vision on it either. If he keeps running this way, he will run into a sentry, though. And it won't get close enough. TSA trying to move away, but the Stampede to chase on for more. Ghost will go for the stomp, and we'll find Lich as well. Magic Missile doesn't change that outcome.
They do get 2 supports, but they rotated 2 cores here. They got the Doom and the Lich. Vengeful did survive in the end. I think maybe they should have went for him instead. But 2 kills are still good. Dandy doesn't lose too much as he rotates back mid and starts out pushing.
Yeah, and he has a huge XP advantage now over Young G anyway.
And Ghostic just stays bottom now. And this is literally what you don't see in many pubs, what you don't see with many players. As cores, they don't understand when they should rotate away from their lane, and they stay around the tier 1 way too long and they die. Your offlaner, after taking that tier 1 on top, usually the rotates bottom. And Ghostic, let's see.
He's a bit deep now.
Pay the price.
Swap back into the EMP with the cold snap. The rotation from Young G is on point. But he can't quite finish the kill. Ghostic, he's going to get away with this. The winner's curse saves the day, but no, there's a second swap back. Cold Embrace going to heal him up a little bit more. And Young G now needs to be careful because he's extremely low. Magic Missile will come out. They'll finally get the kill.
He's dead.
But LeBron did make him work for it.
Yeah, it took them a long time, but they do take him down in the end. However, what's good for MR is the fact that Xani is just farming top lane. So Centaur is pretty much basically just creating space for him. Doesn't necessarily have to dive like that and die, but you know, like, let's let's say nice things about Ghostic. He did get that double kill in the laning stage. Let's not flame him.
Hey, when you have an excuse, right, just do it. You know, we see people play defensive too often, but the gamble, if it pays off, it feels like it's definitely worth it because that probably enables a push for the tier 1 tower as well. But Young G, I mean, he doesn't have any earn charges after that because he used them up. So he's still sitting on 0. He still needs an easy kill to start rotating more.
Yeah, didn't he just get the earn? Because he was definitely close enough to... Or did he use them later to heal up his teammates?
He must have done. He used the first one on the Centaur. I don't know what he done with the second one, unless he threw it out at the end on the Ghost Stick, maybe?
Look at LeBron and his positioning. He's pretty much just...
Dangling himself.
He's actually... Exactly, but Xani... You can see that two of them, they're aware. Like, LeBron might be here just to stack it, though. Xani, he might run into them. There's a huge opportunity for swap into Doom. That's what Modus Unity is hoping for. But they know. You see, like, Xani, he moves back. He actually lost Shadow Dance region there, so he understood they see him.
It's also incredibly hard because the Stampede is available as well.
Yeah, it's a difficult kill, but if you swap stun and Doom, maybe you can do it. It's hard. However, that's where your position 5 should be, and that's how you should play your 5 sometimes. You sit in between. You sit in between the direction from which aggression can come and your carry, and then even if they do come for a gank, they're gonna kill you and not your position 1.
Yeah, this is why with the Wyvern and the Centaur, it's almost impossible to find a kill if they're bodyguarding, right? Because if you do doom the Slark, then Wyvern just use Winter's Curse, and they still have the Stampede to get them out. Alternatively, if you doom the Wyvern, you don't really want to be dooming the POS 5 in this situation. Full stop.
Definitely not. Terribly still farming, has his Yasha and the Iron Wood Tree, actually a pretty decent item for him as tier 1 item goes.
Right now he's praying for an Iron Talon, but he won't get one. They already got all their items.
He should be praying for this tier 1 on the bottom lane. They need to take some map objectives. This tier 1 on bot, yeah, will be taken by Vengeful and the Dominator creep. I think this is also really good from Venge. It's a standard build on Venge though, Helm of Dominator, but in this particular game as well, you get that bonus damage aura, and you have the Vengeance aura from Vengeful as well. So a lot of utility coming from her and Doom.
Yeah, a lot of aura stacking enabled there. You could then look at a Vlad's on either Doom or the Venge, and you can just start to run at people. There was some trading going on. They almost got the tier 2 top in the meantime from MR. And while that's happening, Dendy's just been farming up in the jungle. He's going towards the BKB next. Did go for the Yules build this game, which I don't think I've seen much of since the changes, right? Because they did put a hitbox at the base of Yules now, so you can't be directly under the person.
I mean, we see many builds built on Shadow Fiends, and we see the same thing reoccurring. Shadow Fiend on top of Network at minute 15, and then by the 20-25 minute mark, he gets ganked a couple of times and he's useless. I just wonder what will Dandy do different in this game, and will he succeed at playing this Shadow Fiend? Because the hero is definitely strong at the moment. It's just that teams find it real hard at executing strategies around him properly.
Yeah, most of the strategies I've seen so far have revolved around push power, right? So you take the presence aura affecting buildings, you have like a TA or something else, or not TA, but something to hit buildings, and you're good to go.
Kicked was about to be kicked again, but yeah, he moved back instead.
No, his senses are tingling. There's no one shown on the map from the side of MR right now. I mean, Kingar's going to show bot right now, so maybe that will encourage Modus to try and make a play. But either way, TB's happy. He's been uninterrupted for a while now.
And he's been completely stuck in this triangle over here, just farming away for ages. Yeah, and it looks like Dandy will be the first one to venture deeper.
Oh, he's going to the Bermuda Triangle. The question is, who gets lost here? It looks like no one, as TB will just back away entirely. Young G throws out the tornado. But they don't want to pursue this. They just want the area back. They go, okay, I know TB is going to cry about it a little bit. Just send him to the primary jungle. They've given us that control back.
Yeah, this is so good. When you take control of this area, you're also preventing them from going in your jungle, from pressuring your tier 2, from doing anything. And you're taking their tier 1. It's a good place to be if you're Radiant right now. It's much better to force this TB to play around top than around bottom.
Yeah, because you know he's not likely to go into the Roche pit too soon. At the same time, you don't have your eyes on it yet.
LeBron has to be careful here.
Good focus. Trying to move in. Doom's going to go straight out onto LeBron. And it looks like he will fall. No chance to get him out. They did use the Stampede, though, so they might re-engage here. They lift the Doom up. Buyback comes out. Wyvern is TP into the tier 1 alongside Centaur, and Doom is the final target. The only target, because they can't find any other members of Modus, and it looks like TSA might be out. The Scorched Earth has ran out, but he is fast.
Yeah, they can't seem to get him.
Ooh, that might be enough. The Shadow Dance had to be committed, but they need to summon out this. I'm not even sure they're getting still.
Tornado, 1 second. Oh.
There it comes, but there's the Dark Pact to make sure they still get the kill on the Doom. It took them a long time, though. However, can they find
They're
more?
still hunting. Dandy is coming from the right side. He might catch Vengeful.
And there's Yules and Kaboom. They'll throw out Frost Shield to try and help, but it won't save her life.
Yeah, that's the difficulty of this Mu lineup. That's the fact that you can't just doom anyone you want to. They doomed Vyron, but even if LeBron didn't buy back there, they still win that fight. They still make a turn and they kill Doom and Vengeful.
TB's here. He's got the Arcane Ring, the Metamorphosis. They're in a choke point right now. This might be the play. He goes in. Dendy has to use pretty early. Witness Curse coming out, but it hasn't affected TB. He has to retreat. Does get away in time. Doom will go down to his own team. Ghostic sacrifices his life so Dendy doesn't have to. LeBron does escape. Doesn't want to go down as he did just buy back. That'd be a long time napping on the sideline.
Yeah, perhaps Centaur didn't really have to go in there. He could have backed out. In the end, they trade 1-for-1. That was a great Winter Wyvern ulti as well. So 1-for-1, and Dandy is a happy little camper. He just lives on and continues farming. He was very close to dying there.
And that's very important as well, because he's such a high level at this point. The amount of gold and XP he feeds over to the side of MU is huge.
I love this Vampire Fangs on Vengeful as well. The plus 250 night vision on her is very significant. Allows you to catch targets easier with Nether swap, especially when DK Fogas gets his level 2 swap.
It's good. I wouldn't mind seeing it swap to the Doom once he has the level 2 Doom, though, because it gives a lot of sustain to him between the pure damage from his ultimate and then also the Scorched Earth.
Scorched Earth, yeah, definitely. It is very good on Doom too. And it kind of fits Doom. Vampire Fangs, I don't know. Sounds alright.
Alright, we're going for Halloween cosmetic style here.
Yeah, but Vengeful also looks somewhat like a vampire, I don't know.
Speaking of Vengeful, usually the team with that lineup are the ones in the pit first, but that's not the case here. But this is the recurring theme. We see this a lot, right?
They're trying to defend it.
They need to be quick.
They are this time.
Tornado only connects on the 1. EMP will be dodged out by everyone because he Yules onto Dendy. And Doom does not really want to go in here. He doesn't have an easy way to enter the pit, so it looks like that should be an Aegis being picked up by the side of MR. And no one will be hit by the Sunstrike.
Yeah. They did have Metamorphosis. They had ulti on Lich. They had Wave of Terror to scout with. I think it was just a tactical mistake by Modus Unity. Maybe if they rotated around that top lane, they could have done it a bit better. And defended that rush.
I think they want to wait
for
the BKB on TB to fight, maybe. Because it is hard to find MR in the pit, right? Because they have Witness Curse, they have Stampede, Requiem as well. It's a lot of control.
Have a lot of... They definitely do have a lot of stuff, but how you basically approach that fight differently. When you're playing versus something like Stampede and Wyvern, you don't necessarily have to run into the pit. You just continue spamming them from distance with tornadoes, EMPs, Wave of Terrors. These things alone would force good teams back from taking rush. You just don't want to risk it, but they weren't there. They weren't there on time. They weren't ready, and they lost rush without even giving a fight.
They might lose more heroes soon. Get focused, realizes something is up though. He'll back away and submit that the tier 2 is going to fall, as MR have rotated and forced towards this top lane. And now it's just on Modus to try and keep these other lanes pushed out and ensure that MR can't breach high ground in the meantime.
They will force them. You can see their movement on the top lane. They're going straight and forcing the TPs from Lich, from Invoker. And they don't want to push. This movement from 4 of them wasn't they didn't even intend to take down a tier 3. They basically wanted to force them back, and that's it. Just force some TPs and move out.
Got the sentry down as well. They see Young G. Stomp does connect, and now they should have enough follow-up. A nice swap out by Focus in time to save his life. Stampede. After they threw out the Doom as well, it allows them to retreat. The Winner's Curse is going to be thrown out in return, and Doom taking a lot of damage, but not enough to fall. Will be down to half HP. They did steal the Doom and use it against them, so TB can't even stand and fight. Has to leave Focus behind. It will be leashed up. Should be going down. The Doom's going to run on to TB soon. He does have the Menowos available. Chain Frost bouncing around. Swap out again. Nice stomp. Starts controlled. Now BKB activated. Dendi has to retreat, though, because TB has his own. Cold Embrace will heal him up. They need a solution, though. Sunstrike coming out. Dendi's BKB still lasts just about long enough, but the final hit's going to be there. Has to use to dodge it out. But now he is still going to go down. On the high ground, Slark does get stomped up. TB hitting him from the low ground. Missed chances. Not working in his favor as K-Sign still gets away.
That fight looked like it could be MR's to win easily after the Doom was thwarted the way it was, but they were trying to go in too aggressively. Dendi was a bit too deep. He popped his BKB and then just got destroyed by the Terrorblade. This is the problem that we talked about, right? When it comes to SF. You do contribute to your team, definitely, but at some point you just look like a glass cannon, no matter how farmed you are.
Exactly, and TB, while you can consider him a glass cannon too, he has double your armor, right? Like the agi gain comparison doesn't compare. It's actually over a whole agi point extra per level, and I think they start with 7 more armor, I think it is on TB than SF.
You just have to plan your attack properly. You can't put your SF the way they did in front unless he has Aegis. You have to play around him. Slark and Centaur were on one side of the map, and SF, Rubik, Wyvern were on the other. I think these 3 cores need to play together. That's imperative for them to succeed in winning these team fights.
Mid, Dendi, whittling away him a little bit. Reinforcements won't arrive in time. Now they still have the Aegis for a bit of time, so they should be able to make a play towards the tier 2 mid in the meantime. Just a matter of them find an entrance, a pick off on the way in. Right now, TB is starting to build a lead. He's past Dendi. Slark is struggling to keep up. And you can already see he's heading for more damage and the evasion as well as he heads up to the butterfly next.
It's not about the TB and SF though, it's about the TB and Slark. And Slark has Aegis. He has SNY. He's keeping up too. Only 2k behind the TB. And it's more difficult for Slark to keep up the pace. And actually has that MKB queued up, so he understands the Terrorblade will most likely go for that butterfly. He didn't buy Aghanims, didn't buy anything like that. He went for drums, SMY into MKB. Super impactful build by Slark this early on in the game.
Even stacks up the attack speed talent now as well. Knows he just needs to whittle away at people quickly. I wonder if they actually have someone who can make room for Vlad. It doesn't seem like it when you look at their lineup. Some lifesteal would be helpful when you consider they have 2 hard-hitting right-clickers.
Vlads on both sides would be great, right? For Terrorblade as well, and also on the other side for Slark and SF.
Oh, speaking of which, SF gets hit up by the Doom. Stampede to run them away. Will be successful. The Tornado gets dodged, but now the swap comes out. Forced off down the low ground, but Dendi will still fall. And this SF, you mentioned it before, Liz. It looks good to start with, but then what happens is quite the mess as they find another pick-off on Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, he was a bit too deep. He's too... Basically, what he's trying to do is he's trying to lead the charge. He's trying to lead his teammates, and he's trying to be the first one that gets on top of a target and uses it, right? He's trying to be the catch. But I think it should be the Centaur's job. Maybe Ghostic or even Rubik. They have a lot of ability. There's Force Staff on Rubik, there's Blink Dagger on Centaur. Maybe they should be the ones that start things up, and then SF comes later on when he's sure that Doom has been either used or incapacitated, right? So, just a different approach to these teamfights is necessary.
Yeah, still a very good jump by TSA with the jump in, the stomp straight away.
No, TSA did that very well, and it's not like he had a lot of information to work with.
No, he was... I think he was more or less blind. I think it was just creeps where he saw the wave get cut. So he was just anticipating where Dendi would be at that point on the retreat.
Nothing gets past TSA.
No. Not without former approval. He also has a quickening charm now, which... this just feels dirty on Doom right now with the War Stomp. With obviously Doom as well. Top, King R. Throws out the lift. Has to just to run away as he got hit by the cold snap. They are pinging. They still want to go. He's got the 4-staff, so I think he just abort this. He's going, though. Blink in. Stomp there. Now Ghost Stick shows you a bigger stomp. Little center, big center. How do you feel about this? TSA trying to move away. Ghost Stick chases onto him still. Frost Shield goes on top. Pounce across. They can't connect on Young G. Ghost Stick does have the blink in the 3 seconds, though. They are staying split. There's heals coming out. BKB, Dendi will throw out a raise or two on the TSA. Not enough to bring him down, though. He mistimed that. They'll turn around for a bigger target, though, because Bogus willing him away. Young G barely gets invis and away in time, but now Reckham's going to come out. Venge running around a little bit confused, not sure where she wants to go. Turns out she'll just go to her grave.
Vengeful does die, but in the end, it's the Invoker that survives. Once again, the bigger target eludes them. Every single pickoff from Mu is either on Dandy or Centaur, and Invoker and Terrorblade on the other side aren't truly dying at all. We have 1 death on Terrorblade and 0 deaths on Invoker so far. And it's imperative for Mu to keep these guys up and living so that they can reach that critical mass that will carry them later on.
Exactly. And that's the difference, right? Is that both the offlaners in this game have save mechanics. But if you think about Centaur, it's a very hard commitment. Whereas Venge, you've got 2 swaps to work with. The way you build, you don't really need to blink these type of items. You can just build auras
Centaur?
And effective HP. They don't want it, Centaur. Oh, Doom. He almost got it out. The Yule's just in time. Ghost Stick on the back line. Has got the blink. Needs to use it just in time to get away from the Sunstrike. But into the waiting arms of Young G. And there's the stomp coming out. And Ghost Stick, he will die. But they at least made sure Dendi didn't this time around.
There's some dissonance in the side of MR. Not everything goes accordingly to the plans. Like Centaur jumps in, but there's no follow-up. The only one around is Dendi. They're not playing as a team as much as MU at least.
No. It feels like one of those one more item approaches coming out from one core or the other every time. When they're not respecting, they should be fine. Like, for example, when the Doom was down, they went defensive. Right now that Doom is up, they're forced to go defensive, yet you still find them playing on their opponent's side of the map pretty deep.
A good thing for them is Slark is also farming really well. 0 deaths to his name and has that MKB completed. So he will be ready to fight and deal with the Terrorblade and his Butterfly very soon.
But this is a scary game for Kaysani, right? Like, this is a type of game where Slark dies once and loses all his momentum. Because you don't have that catch-up element, right? Like, you are against a TB, and we're approaching past the 15k net worth mark, where you start to see the impact out of TB.
Roche, again, has been scouted out this time. It's imperative for Mu to just run straight here and defend it. They can't let it go once again. And you said that right. I think Slark can't die. Like, he has to keep his composure for as long as possible.
Here they come. Modus, they lost all composure. They're plowing into the pit. LeBron, Glimmer Cape to move away. Dust reveals him. Flies up to the high ground just in time, though. However, he has got the cold snap on him. Doom, they jump straight on top. Don't want to get his ulm out. Swap out to save his life, though. Now what can they do? Buyback comes out from LeBron. TP into the tier 1 tower. King Art, one more hit would have put him in his grave, but TB not able to follow through. However, with the alacrity, the tier 1 tower won't be so lucky.
They don't want to back out because Terrorblade used meta, right? So they need to fight. If they stop fighting right now, Roche might be gone.
Exactly. Kaysani pounces away in time, still gets stomped. When it's oh god! Doom, the betrayal, the stomp comes out. TV, they're gonna melt through him, he's dead. Now they're chasing forward. Dendi, BKB, activates that Requiem and says, watch you run, but the swaps come out. Bit weird back and forth actually from his own Rubik to try and save his life. Wasn't really needed, but Cold Embrace will save King Ars. Bogus now left behind as he has no swaps left. And look at this, Kaysani still chasing. Kikid, will he get out? One more hit, and Kaysani can't get it.
Don't chase anything, go straight into the pit.
Exactly.
If you are MR right now, you just sack chasing Invoker or Lich, you go into the pit, you take this Roche, and this is a huge fight. Mu, they held their composure. They were playing really well throughout the game, but they forced things a bit too much. I can understand it completely. They were thinking, guys, we committed meta. We need to fight right now because Roche is up. If we don't win this fight with Metamorphosis, we will be at a huge disadvantage when they go into the pit, when Dendi and the boys decide to go take Aegis. And because of that, they dug their own grave. They overcommitted. They set themselves up for a good Winter's Curse, and after that, Terrorblade also dies super easily.
That's the thing. They get a little bit split because the really good player, I have to say, was Ghost Stick. he ran north, right? And half the team chased him. And then he quickly TP'd back to the tier 2 and they re-engaged. And you saw how split the entirety of Modus were.
Mm-hmm. No, they were just trying to... They were just trying to get anything. They had just blood in their eyes and they were just chasing. It wasn't great.
Poor boy with his ball, just changing the
Just
cup.
some pub style. Just some pub style right there.
Exactly. So things should calm down for a moment. And it looks like Doom will be going towards the BKB next. But I think we just saw a new problem. The BKB doesn't really help if your winner's curse.
Yep. That's definitely an issue. Perhaps some Lotus Orb or some Lincolns on this side would be good too.
It's actually even more painful for him because they did find the Orb of Destruction earlier. And this Doom has built no armor.
The thing is, you have to jump on Wyvern, right? Or on Centaur. You have to get one of those out. Perhaps you have to kill LeBron even without using Doom on him. Maybe that's a way to play out the rest of the game.
Perhaps they're going to kill one you first, though. They're moving up now. Smoked up. Smoke's going to break. Stomp straight in on the big target. TB. Hard to get through those. They'll Stampede run away. The BK was activated and the Focus does swap in LeBron. But he can't see him. Doesn't have the vision. Focus needs to be careful. His own BKB is running out. Slark is distracting the rest of his team. So he will make his escape just in time.
They're just holding their high ground. It's very difficult for MR to straight up just run into them the way they tried earlier. It's understandable that it didn't work.
Definitely. But some big BKB charges do get expended. As the Venge, I think that was the fresh BKB, yeah. So that was the 10-second gone.
But that also reveals he did use the BKB, which is really problematic. But what's more problematic for them is that they reveal the battle plan for the next couple of team fights. DK Phobos or Fogas, he will be the one that's trying to run in and swap the Wyvern so that they can blow LeBron up instantly. But from now on, LeBron should be aware of that, and he should be more careful when it comes to his positioning.
Denny's in trouble. They just threw the Doom on him straight away. He's so split from the rest of the team.
Space?
The final frontier. Hopefully the final mistake for Dendy, because that was... They were split. I'm pretty sure he just capped that outpost as well, so it was known to MU what was going on. And they were showing people on multiple lanes on the side of MR.
Space?
More space.
How else do you call that? Yeah.
Kaysani is going in though. He wants this. BKB comes out TSA. Chain Frost bouncing around as well. Kaysani, Shadow Dance activated. Find him. Oh god, Ghosting is now a ghost. When his curse going to come out, TB won't be killing himself today though. TSA's BKBs ran out. They last long enough to spot out LeBron, who's caught and braced himself in a corner saying, please don't hurt me. Well, they don't listen.
That was some tilt movement right there. Their SF is dead. He has a buyback, yeah, you can use it, but there's absolutely no necessity to force it. Instead, you could just wait for the SF to respawn and then fight. But instead, they run into them. As to Centaur, man, that wasn't a Centaur, that was a Crystal Maiden. He just disappeared.
I mean, he was just backing up Kaysani's play, right? Like, Kaysani TP'd to that shrine with the intent of clearly looking for a fight.
And he does have that Aegis, but he doesn't deal enough damage at the moment. There's 144 plus 50 on Slark versus 300 on Terror Wave. Even more, 400.
And that's going to cost them. The price is going to be the racks. Ranged racks might survive for the moment, but they got the big one.
Can they punish them though?
Kaysani's trying. There it is, Lee straight away onto TB. The MP won't connect because he'd use the Dark Pack. Stomp onto 2 from Ghostic. Looks good. He's got Stampede to work with as well. BKB. Dendy going with the Requiem play. Connects only onto 1 though because the BKB is activated by Modus. And now the Stampede coming out to try and retreat. Dendy Eastern Cheese just in the nick of time. And Kaysani with his Shadow Dance still fighting up. Wants to split the fight so they can find an easy pick off. But the swaps are causing mayhem right here. And the Ice Wall in the choke point. The stop coming out again from Ghostic making the big plays. But they're going to chase forward. They got the Sunder. Doesn't really achieve anything when you get the Lotus though. TB needs to get the hell out of dodge quick because Slark is thinking about going back in after he regens up. But he can't.
That was also a really good tornado on LeBron there, preventing him from flying over the hill and catching them with Winter's Curse. So they only lose Vengeful there in the end. I believe DK Fogas, he might have survived because he had Greater Fairy Fire off cooldown. Maybe he could have used it to buy himself a couple of extra seconds. But in the end, it's not too horrible for them. They took a side, and the only thing they lost is 1 Vengeful Spirit.
Slark. Oh, he's been hit by the Doom. Big problem. Sunstrike won't connect when it's cursed. They're just going to actually try and deny him up. Maybe they don't get a chance. And Ghostic, He's in deep now as well. It just seems like every time one of his cores makes a play, Ghostic is forced to commit and becomes the second casualty of war.
He's chasing for more. LeBron now as well. He might be in problems.
He's just gonna deboard.
Yeah, he has Limber Cape, but he's dead. That's 4 heroes just gone.
It's just getting a little bit questionable, Liz. I mean, we saw it before. Kaysani forcing fights, and again in the mid, they know that the Doom is available as well.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some disconnect between these teammates. Perhaps if Centaur initiates first and then Slark follows up from behind, it's possible. But also, I think it's very difficult for them to play out the fight the way they want to, as they don't have any mobility items on big cores. Shadow Fiend, alright, has a blink, but Slark has no Aghanims, no Shadow Blade, no blink. It's hard for him to cut from behind. He just runs into the Doom, gets doomed, and then what?
Oh, God. Same thing for the base. Then what? They use the repair kits and it's doing nothing. Alacrity TB, he didn't even use the Metamorphosis either.
And you can see the discipline for Modus Unity as well. They take the side, and then they go to the shrine.
They say no rush. Rush might be up in a minute.
You know what? Listen. Especially when you're playing best of 3, there's some mind games involved as well. If you're winning the first game, you don't have to crush them, you know? Win the game, but also crush their spirit. Relax, enjoy it, take your time, you know? Kill one hero, get some pickoffs, get like 5 more pickoffs on Dandy, so that all of his teammates want to leave the team, you know? And then the best of 3 is easy, because they hate each other in the next 2 games.
This sounds like personal experience, Liz.
That's what I felt many times.
Always Dendy your target as well, not LeBron.
No. I'm just saying about Dandy in this particular game because he was their target.
Because he's playing SF as well. Jump in, stomp, but there's a swap out. Focus safe there again. BKB activated, but there's the winner's curse on the Doom. Not enough damage to be killed off by his teammate this time, though. In case Sani has used the Shadow Dance, so he needs to just run for the high hills. The Hex comes out. LeBron won't be so lucky. Oh, the swap can go. Beautifully done. Doesn't have a 4-star himself, though, but does still have 1 more swap charge. Stomp, reinitiation, going back in. Doom, swap out again, focus on the mark. The BKB gets activated so he can stand his ground. Throws out the magic missile. Dendy did use his BKB, but just to run away. Doesn't even throw out the Requiem yet. King R is protected by the Glimmer Cape. Requiem on the high ground. Scares away TB. Maybe, but he still has the BKB on the Terror Blade, so he's untouchable. They have to retreat. Kaysani, those spider legs, causing all kinds of mischief as they can't find him. It looks like they'll get the rest out.
Legs on Slark. I said there's no mobility, but there is. He has spider legs. At least he can pretend to be a spider and create some spider webs around the trees, walk around the cliffs. That's cool.
True. Never underestimate the spider legs. Makes it pretty hard for you to actually ever keep up the person. It's not like they really have free movement on their team. Like, sure, you got a Blink Dagger, you've got swaps, but the Venge needs the vision for that.
So far, Modus Unity, yeah, they've made a couple of mistakes, but in general, they've been on point with their execution of teamfights. And it looks like every time a team has Doom on their side, their teamfights are super easy. You just go in, you Doom the target that you want. After that, the teamfight becomes much simpler because you eliminated 1 target. And it's not only that, it's the fact that Sani...
Clark will get out the tornado in time. Swap out again to save the life of Invoker. And BKB activated by TB. The Hex is going to be there. Slark, he's just gone. No escape from that. No defense behind. The Doom gets thrown out immediately onto the Rubik. They're not messing around with King R anymore. And the BKB activated. TSA is hunting for more. He has got the Scorched Earth soon, so they might find it. Ghostic doesn't have that Stampede anymore. Doesn't have any easy way out. LeBron throws out the Winner's Curse. It's a screw you Winner's Curse, though, because he's looking for someone to join him in the grave. And he'll at least find 1 in Venge. Stomp.
You see, now you go back. Now you let them chill a little bit. You don't push high ground. You don't take a big objective like Roche. Actually, okay, you can take Roche and then you chill. Make them think about their mistakes.
You're sounding like one of those players that's never got 6 items in a game before. You're like, oh, I've never seen the tier 5 items list from the neutrals. Can we get to that stage? Ghostic
might get to found.
Got the Lotus, but he can't move. Oh, send that horse to the glue factory. He pays back straight away.
There you go. That's it. That's the rage. That's what we've been waiting for.
I had enough of this crap.
Yeah, he bought back because he has to defend. Someone has to do it. And after they take Roche, they're coming anyway. So that buyback would have been forced one way or another.
Well, I think more is going to be forced now. Modus.
Timeless relic.
They got Timeless Relic. The problem is that Modus have a Prince's Knife.
Actually, Timeless Relic is on SF, right?
Also, Modus have a Divine Rapier.
No.
Yep.
Well, that's one way to throw the game if he manages to die, because Timeless Relic is on Rubik, so his telekinesis is lasting for 958 seconds. I read it right now, so.
Ah, thank you, Mr. Mathman. And also, Modus do not have a Dispel to work with. No one built into a Lotus, so...
There's the swap.
There is a swaps.
Yeah.
It's not really a Dispel, though, so you definitely got to make sure you're far enough away for a good swap. Dendy's gone in. BKB activated as well. Charging out the Requiem, but TSA has his own BKB. And now it's going to be yours coming out. TSA looks to re-engage here. No Doom for 18 seconds, though. There's going to be a Cataclysm. Kaysani did use the Shadow Dance, managed to walk away. The swap comes in, and Ghostic, he just bought back. Can't afford to go down. The Witch Curse is going to come out, and Eventual Spirit, who's taking a lot of damage, but isn't going to die just yet. The Chain Frost. King R, he's going to get killed by his own Cause Dendy. That is not how you perform a Delta split. And on the back line, Ghostic is still found and killed off. The Lotus Orb doesn't change the outcome. He's dead and out for 105 seconds.
And remember, that was without meta use. Now they will use that meta and hunt down the bottom Raxes. They don't have the Vengeful, but there's no Centaur, there's no...
Who cares? It's not hard. Look at the damage. Oh, God. This repair kit really isn't looking impressive right now. It's gone already. There's just a Sunder waiting to happen on a Dendy right now. But there's the BKB from Dendy. He's still taking a lot of damage to Doom from it. Oh, God! Cold Embrace to try and keep him alive. Doesn't matter, though. They've got the stuns to follow up. The Sinister Gaze is there, and Dendy no longer is. Has to buy back straight away. But there it is. Thunder out. Kaysani with a Shadow Dance. Maybe gets up to HP and Terrorblade. But even if you get him once, he's still got the second life due to the Aegis. TSA throws out a stun. Kaysani, Cold Embrace to keep him alive. But the Chain Frost, everything for the kill onto a fish. And it looks like they're going to end the game. Moo. Well, they might sound like the team of cows, but right now, MR are the ones in the slaughterhouse.
Well said. They got slaughtered by Mo. They played really well, and this game seemed like... Usually when you're playing Slark versus TB, you want to be making actions with Slark. You want to be hunting that TB, preventing him from farming, just pushing him away from creeps, at least, up to the high ground. You don't necessarily have to get too many pickoffs, but as long as you're controlling the map. And to some extent, they managed to do that. They were playing that strategy well, but they just fell apart afterwards. They were being picked off left, right, and center. The Doom was... It was easy. It was easy for DK Fogas to... Was it DK TSA? It was easy for TSA to get a couple of these Dooms on very, very important targets. And that shouldn't be the case. But Terrorblade outfarmed everyone, and with the utility from the Doom and the Vengeful that also had the Wolf dominated, he just destroyed everything.
Yeah, Modus stayed true to the name. They showed a lot more unification, a lot more team fight composure, shall we say. Whereas MR, I think the biggest thing for them to look at going into game 2, because these are best of threes now, is how the hell did we get so split? How were we not on the same wavelength, right? Because it felt like time and time again, they had different ideas, right? One would want to farm while the other wants to fight, or you lose one hero and someone is screaming fight, fight, fight in the team. And I felt especially bad for Ghostic because he just became a sacrificial lamb to try and save cause halfway through that game.
And he started off so well. He got a double kill on Terrorblade. I was actually expecting him to just continue dominating and pressuring them, pushing them in. But after he gets that double kill, he rotates bottom, which at first glance looked really good. But then he dives between tier 1 and tier 2 and then just dies there. And a couple of other mistakes that just left Modus Unity unchecked. And Terrorblade was free to farm for as long as he wanted. Look at Invoker. He actually has 0 that's never died in this whole match. And the mid lane wasn't that easy. He was playing versus Dandy. He was struggling a little bit in the CS department, but I believe this Invoker as a hero, no matter who plays it, just does a little bit more than the SF. How many SFs did we see in the last couple of days and in the last couple of weeks? The hero has been buffed, but I still feel that he is like a jack of all trades but master of none. You can build so many different builds on him, but he still stays that glass cannon after 25th minute mark.
Yeah, and he did go full caster build, which was a bit more interesting against the Doom, right? Like, you know there's loads of targets for him, but maybe some more right-click damage, but there is a counter-argument that you're always trying to beat a TB in a right-click race at that point. So it's just tough, as you said. The hero that I feel like for over a year now, pros have still not been able to fully find a convincing and recurring way to make it work, shall we say. Like, they'll have pop-off performances, but it's never consistent. But
I agree.
it's only game one. This is best of threes, as I said. Modus Unity do take game one, so one game away from jumping on through to face off against Fly to Moon. MR back to the drawing board. They need a solution. They need to come back, bounce back, and force this to a third game in the series. So short break, and then we'll have game two up on the screen.